All right, so we're back with a nosebleed perspective, and we're back with our top 10 running backs for PPR format fantasy rankings. We're pretty excited. So this is kind of the one you guys want to pay attention to in that first and early second round. So we'll go ahead and just kick it off with number 10. I'll start it off with Devin Singletary. Yeah, you guys had him a lot lower, but I believe in this guy. Last year he was super consistent with about his 12 points per game. Is that a lot? Hell no. That's not what you want for a top 10 running back. But, I mean, all he did, like I kind of mentioned in our first episode with the running backs, is just average over 5.5 yards a carry. He ranked in the top 5 in yards per carry as well when he faced 6.5. That was his average people he faced in the box. So, and he's a small guy. He's not a big dude. And he's doing this, like everyone knows he was getting the ball. He always made the first man miss. Now that Frank Gore's not there and taking up those goal line touchdowns like we've so much talked about, I like his touchdowns to go up. I like I like Josh Allen to get a little bit better with the check down game, not just throttling that ball down the field. Maybe he hits Singletary and he gets 20 more receptions this year. I mean, look, I think he's their number one, and I like him number 10 right here. So, yeah.
All right. So at 10, this is my last guy that I'm not 100% taking in the first round. It's my last loop guy, as we keep saying. It's Cincinnati Bengals, no outdoor practice facility, Joe Mixon. This team doesn't care about winning. If they don't care about winning, then they're definitely not going to pay a running back because no team in the NFL should pay a running back. But this guy had two completely different seasons. The first half of the year, he was awful. He averaged 50 yards a game. But in the second half of the year, he was RB10. So that's why I have him at 10. If he goes somewhere else or anything, I'm not taking him any higher, and I've got to take safer options. It's risky to take a risky running back this early. So for me, I think it's got to be second round or 12th pick.
Yeah. So over here at number 10, I've got a guy that not a lot of people probably believe in this season, but he's a guy that has proven himself in the past. And I think this trade, this very controversial trade that happened, is going to benefit him very well. I've got David Johnson. Houston does not have a running back. I mean, what are they going to do? Is he competing with Duke Johnson Jr.? Hey. No, he is not. David Johnson is going to be healthy. He's going to come back strong, and he's going to be a top 10 running back. I'm not going to put money on it. I'm not going to bet that, and I'm not. And I'm probably not going to draft him. There's going to be running backs in these top 10 that we're going to talk about that I probably won't draft because of just my game plan with fantasy. However, I don't hate David Johnson, and I think that he's going to have a really good season in Houston.
So, say you got the 9th through 12th pick.
12th.
So either way, whatever.
If I have 12, then I'm probably taking David Johnson.
Oh, I can't wait till we draft because we're in the same. I hope I have the 11 so I can just get a steal right after you.
Or I'll take him 13. If I have 12, then I might not take him 12, but I might take him 13.
So you're taking David Johnson late first, early second.
Yes. Yeah, David Johnson, late first, early second, 100%.
I love this show.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it, man. He's been that guy. He has no competition in Houston. Who's he competing with?
Like I said, I do like him. I put him a little higher than Gibby. We all know Gibby hates him, but yeah, those, like he said, those receptions got to go somewhere from Deshaun Watson, and he's going to be a check down guy. He has proven himself. So he's a wild card to me. He could be out of the top 30.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a safe option to take him anywhere near the first or second round. But I don't mind, trying to reach for him a little bit, maybe third or fourth round.
Okay.
But I respect
it. He won't be there because he'll be on my team.
Okay with me. All right. Hey, I love the confidence though, and he could turn it. You never know, man. I mean, this dude was, like we talked about, a top 3, top 1 or 2 pick a couple years ago. Just never really found his stride again in Arizona. So, all right. So on to number 9. This is where I'm going to put Joe Mixon. Like you said, Gibby, the last half of the season, he was top 10. This dude was a beast, and they had nothing. Ryan Finley was playing quarterback. I think that's his name. Look, and everyone knew where the ball was going. The only talent on that field was Joe Mixon and the dude Boyd, receiver who beat me in fantasy on the championship. I don't want to talk about it. Thank you, Caleb.
Staten.
Yep. But look, and he was still like everyone knew where the ball was going, and I think the addition of Joe Burrow, it doesn't even matter, at least early on in the season, what Joe Burrow does. It's going to attract more attention to that secondary, especially with AJ Green. So I think it's going to open up just a little bit more, for the running game and Joe Mixon. So they're not going to be stacking the box as much, at least first half of the season, maybe. Just because, he's the number one pick. People are going to be looking to shut down Joe Burrow just because it's, just a big flex for defensive guys, whatever. So that's just kind of my thinking on this. I think he could go late first round. I'm not taking him, mid first round or anything, but late first round, if he's sitting there, maybe early second, we'll see. But I don't know. He was the top running back at the end of the year last year. His O-line was injured a lot of the year last year. I don't know if a lot of people think about that because their team was just so bad. So just look out for him. I got him as a potential 1,500-yard rusher next year. So,
ooh, Jesus,
that's a lot.
Look out. I love Joe Mixon. I think he runs like Le'Veon Bell. I think he's in a place where he wants to get paid. So I think he's going to take advantage of the opportunity with a number one draft pick being his quarterback. So.
All right, so at 9, I got a guy who had 16 rushing touchdowns last year. He probably doesn't have 16 rushing touchdowns this year. The Green Bay Packers running back and Aaron Jones. This team did draft a running back with their second pick. I don't know who he is. He wasn't even on my draft radar, so LaFleur is a stooge. But he did say that he wanted 3 running backs this year, so that's why this guy's so low. If we went on talent only, maybe top 5, but this whole offense to me is probably going to be worse. But after Aaron Jones's success last year, he's a first round guy to me.
Yeah,
nice.
For sure.
Yeah. So at number 9, this is a guy that Gibby already talked about. At number 12, I've got Miles Sanders. I like Miles Sanders, man. I like what he brings to the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the way that he carries the ball. You said it. He averaged 15 points a game. The dude's an absolute stud on that team, and they don't have good wide receivers. We know that. Carson Wentz gets injured every season. I hope that he doesn't this year. I would like to see him make it through 16 games and the playoffs. That would be a great thing, so I can stop talking trash to my Eagles fans about it. But I think that Miles Sanders is a really good running back. I think that he's highly undervalued in the NFL. So Miles Sanders is definitely worthy of being top 10. I would definitely take him late in the first round.
Yeah, so me and you are Cheech. You're just giving me these lobs right now. So we're just in order. At number 8, I have Miles Sanders a little higher. I am huge on this guy this year. I think this dude could break into the top 5 in running backs this year. But on the precautious side, I'm going to go 8, late first round for this dude. I'm taking him. Look, this guy was the best rookie running back last year, fantasy-wise, and he didn't even get his opportunities until about week 12 or 13. Look, he's going to be an X factor in Madden next year. I love him. He's going to have a breakout year. I think he could possibly like 1,000 for 1,000 guy rushing and passing yard or receptions. I just like him. If you watched him at all, I'm sure Eagles fans, if there's any that listen to this at all, probably can back that up. And I think he's
CMC-esque.
What?
Future CMC?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe not obviously that much, but the big thing about him is I think you can steal him in obviously not in our league because we kind of just gave away that we're all pretty high on him. But if you're listening and you're in a league, I think you can probably steal him in the second, maybe even the third round, to be honest with you, because he's not a sexy name. He's not a big name. People, I don't know, just look out for him to be available. If you have a early first round pick, maybe, and it's coming back to you and he's still available, he's a guy who can really take you far, I think. He's their number one guy. Jordan Howard, he went down and he just took over. So I just loved Miles Sanders this year. So I'll be quiet about him now because I don't want to give Philly. I don't want to give Philly too much love, but
Yeah.
Oh, understandable, man. That's a good pick. So for me at number 8, and I feel really, really bad at putting this guy at number 8, but another one of my friends put him even lower, so I guess I shouldn't feel that bad. Is Cleveland's running back and Nick Chubb. This dude's a monster, and he gets an even better offensive line. He has an offensive coordinator and a head coach that maybe isn't the best hire, but he's not Kitchen, so he's going to do better. But Kareem Hunt is right there, just like CEO Log said, and that does hurt his value. This team is going to have a lot of weapons on offense, so it's hard to decide where the points are going to go because no matter how good your offense is, there's only X amount of points to the season that you can possibly have. So it's going to be tough. I do like Nick Chubb as a first-round pick for the Cleveland Browns.
Are you reaching, like, say you have pick 6 or 7? Would you grab him?
No, probably not 6 or 7. Kind of like what we talked about earlier, 6 or 7. If it's all about Thomas, man, like where Thomas is and everything. So I have him if I have him at 8, I might snag him at 8. Late first round for sure. Late first round. I'm fine with Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, it's no disrespect to the guy either. Why I put him at 14, but like I just that's how good he's not just like it's not a running back by committee like a normal one. Like you have another superstar back there, so it's
for sure.
It's just hard. So all right, my bad. Go ahead,
I mean, no, absolutely. At number 8, Gibby already talked about him, Aaron Jones. I mean, the Packers' run game last year was devastating. It was the highlight of that offense, and this year I think it's going to continue to be, except for the fact that there's even more guys to share the ball with. And I don't understand why they went that direction because Aaron Jones was just such a monster last year. He was a guy that wasn't even on my radar last season. When we were drafting for fantasy, I don't even know if I knew who Aaron Jones was. And when I saw people drafting him, I looked at it and I was like, oh, well, like it's the Packers offense. Like, why would you draft a running back on the Packers offense? And then Aaron Jones happened.
Yeah.
And
it's fair. I mean, it's fair to think that too. I mean, because I didn't really.
I mean, in past years, like I've never drafted a Packers running back. I've never thought about drafting a Packers running back before this season because of what happened last season. I don't remember who the Packers had at running back 3 seasons ago, because it wasn't really – that wasn't their what they were doing. So Aaron Jones, number 8.
Yeah. All right. So number 7, this might be a surprise, but I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley here. Look, I know this is very – but this dude, he look, he got hurt last year and still with nagging injuries. He's he was able to like be, somewhat efficient in fantasy, but I don't think he can get past those injuries on that bad football team with that O-line that I think they drafted one dude, but I just don't see it being – look, this is strictly fantasy-wise. Like I think this guy is a top 3 running back in the league, but I don't know if the numbers – we have to put all our, biases aside. Like obviously, look, this dude's quads are fucking ridiculous.
He's a fucking truck.
But I think he could possibly be the second best running back out of Penn State next year. So I'm just not going to go with my top 3 or 4 picks with Saquon. So I can't. And then last year, obviously, I had number 1. No, I had number – I don't remember. Number 1 or 2. And I wanted Saquon bad because, like Gibby said, we like those first, second-year running backs. So glad I ended up with CMC. But
you had the number 2.
I think it was number 2. But look, I'm not.
We told the guy at number 1 to take CMC, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, he's a fucky. I don't even remember who it was, but fuck that guy.
I do. But we won't talk about it.
Hey, he threw me the lob. He took the pressure off of me because I was going to be torn between CMC and Saquon. But I just think with the injury and with that just not proven O-line in that offense, it's going to be hard for me fantasy-wise to put him in the top 5 over some other guys.
Damn, this dude had a high ankle sprain last year, man. But I get it. All right. Well, I guess if you have so at number 4, you're not taking him.
It depends on who's taking. Like, it depends, man. It's hard to say. Like, if Michael Thomas is sitting there, if
You take Michael Thomas. Okay, that's a good question. Michael Thomas over.
I'm taking Michael Thomas 100% over Saquon Barkley this year.
All right.
Just me.
So at 7, I got a pretty safe option in Derrick Henry. He was an RB14 until Ryan Tannehill got there. So, and then after he got there, no one should be happier about Ryan Tannehill being on the Titans than Derrick Henry. This dude averaged 21 carries and 125 yards per game. That's kind of just their coaching staff's philosophy. At the beginning weeks, he's not going to put up the numbers because they want to save him. And then at the end of the year, the last half of the year where you really need him, they're really going to grind this dude out and get everything out of him. They're probably not re-signing him if they already franchise tagged him. So I think he's a pretty good pick at number 7. They do lose a key piece of that offensive line, so that's why he's not a top 5 guy to me. But teams are going to key on him. But the safeness of the pick for me for Derrick Henry at 7 is why I would take him
For sure.
at 7th overall.
You don't think they re-signed Derrick Henry?
No, I don't. I think because he's off the Bill Belichick coaching staff, and I think he's smart enough to know that they can get
Right.
another guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you can produce another Derrick Henry, but I get what you're saying, though.
That dude is a monster. At number 7, I've got a guy that you guys already shamed. I've got Nick Chubb. I believe in Nick Chubb, man. Because I believe in the Browns. I think that Nick Chubb is a freight train. He does not go down. He is hard to tackle. He runs that ball like he's running for his life. And I think that Nick Chubb is a great asset on the Browns. And, Kareem Hunt is going to be stealing a lot from him. However, you just have to just know that Baker is a wild card. I'm sorry to say it. This is going against everything I've said in every episode before this. Baker is a wild card. And on the off chance that Baker ends up not being the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns by late season, mid-season, Case Keenum is also not that trustworthy. And I think that no matter what, Nick Chubb is going to be getting that rock a lot this season. And if he's available at number 5, number 6, I'm probably taking him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to get. Like, I love Nick Chubb. I think the value at which they drafted him at, his talent level is beyond that. So, but man, I just can't do it with Kareem Hunt in the backfield.
Right. I'm taking Nick Chubb over Michael Thomas.
Yeah. People are different. Yes. All right. So what are we on? 6 now?
Yep.
All right. So number 6, I got Dalvin Cook here. I think this guy could possibly be a top 3 running back, but I just, if you had him in fantasy last year, he probably took you all the way to the playoffs. Like, this dude was a monster. But injuries just freak me out, man. Like, I'm not – they do. Like, I'm not going to go top 3 or 4 with somebody who was hurt. And I don't remember what his injury was, but it was pretty serious, right? Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. And, I mean, dude, led the league in running backs with 8 drops. Not that is, like, a crazy stat for fantasy. But, I mean, kind of. I mean, he's not, like, the best, pass-catching running back out of the backfield. The only reason he's not in my top 5 is just because I just feel like the other dudes above him are just a little better. And, I mean, Dalvin Cook, he's a monster. Like, he put up – I don't even know. I didn't put how many points per game he had last year, but I'm sure it was a hell of a lot of points. So, I don't know. I'm just not sold on him after coming back from that injury. But he could obviously finish in top 3. I wouldn't reach for him with my top 3 or 4 picks, but, a lot of people will, so.
Yeah, so I agree with you at number 6 with Dalvin Cook. I mean, I feel like we might have taken the exact same notes. Top 3 running back talent-wise, like you said, but, the guy had 1,200 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns, and 500 yards receiving. So in PPR league, that's pretty good. So this is kind of the borderline of where Michael Thomas falls for me. So it's tough. If it comes down to Dalvin Cook, Michael Thomas, but kind of like we talked about strategy, them later running backs. If I take Dalvin Cook here, I'm going to have to stack up on running backs and take some flyers at wide receiver if I do take him. So that's why he's this low, is because my team is going to have to be all running backs, because I'm going to be scared that with the contract set out and injury, that's a double whammy right there for me.
Yeah.
So at number 6, this is where I've got Alvin Kamara. I believe in this dude big time, man. I loved Kamara last year. Going into last year, I drafted him. I was high on him. Like, I had all the faith in the world. This is a guy that can catch the ball, that can run the ball. He is a dual threat in the backfield until he gets outshined by Latavius Murray. And all of a sudden, now Kamara is sharing time with the dude that, Latavius Murray did win me a fantasy league a couple of years ago when I had DeMarcus Murray and Latavius Murray on the same team. You guys were in that league when I won.
Gibby dominated every week, put like 1,000 points up.
That's why I hate David Johnson. Had David Johnson.
But I think that Latavius Murray causes Alvin Kamara to fall off. And obviously, I didn't mention Latavius Murray. None of us did. He's just a random dude in the NFL. However, he has the capacity to outshine a stud. And if not outshine, at least suppress. And Alvin Kamara gets suppressed by Latavius Murray, and that's why he doesn't break into the top 5.
And that's a good point you make. And my belief is the first couple rounds, you can't win your league, but you can lose your league. But in them later rounds, you can win your league, grabbing a Latavius Murray, grabbing, Dalvin Cook's back up in Madison and seeing what happens with him. Like, that's just kind of my philosophy on fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so once again, Cheech with the lob. Yeah, and you made a lot of good points. A guy like Latavius Murray comes in and just kind of just takes away, even when he was healthier, takes away some of his carries, takes away his goal line. And that's the big thing, the goal line right there, man. Yeah. It really points. Is. It depends, 4 or 6. Whatever you're playing. If you're in a 6-point league, definitely for touchdowns, that is. But he had a down year last year, and he still did finish top 3 in receptions. He had 81 receptions. I do think he makes some type of bounce back because I didn't have him in any of my leagues last year, so I don't really know. I think Cheech, you had him. It was just frustrating to listen to you be frustrated. So
every week I was pinging.
Yeah, and he's coming up on his contract here, and that's huge, I think, for him. I think he knows that he was kind of on the decline last year, I guess, production-wise. So it's hard because I think he could definitely come back and be a top 2 or 3 running back. Drew Brees is not going to throw a pass over 15 yards this year. So,
but you're taking Michael Thomas over so many running backs, but he's not throwing more than 15 yards.
Have you seen the passes he throws to Michael Thomas? Why do you think he gets all those receptions?
They're impossible, yeah.
They're like 5 yards, 10 yards. Anyway, I don't know. It's hard to put him in the top 3 or 4 after last year. And like you said, Latavius Murray showing that he can be that slasher who can be a guy. So the goal line points and the volume, I think, is what puts him out of the top 3-4 for me.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else to say that you guys haven't already said. I got Alvin Kamara at 5 as well.
Nice.
Simple.
That's it?
That's all I got.
Sorry, I didn't mean
No, you're good. I just literally am reading through what you guys said. He goes from 18 rushing touchdowns last year to 6. You all said it. We talked about the catch. We talked about the ability.
All right, cool.
Do you think he goes? Do you think people take him still top 3 though?
No, sure? So I think Alvin Kamara probably falls to on my team. I do. If I have a later pick, I think he falls.
Really?
Just because of if you had him last year, you're so pissed. You're not taking that chance.
Yeah. I think that people are going to take dudes like Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. I think they're going to take them over Kamara.
In our league,
without knowing he has 81 catches. Even though he had an off season, he had $100
in our league. Derrick Henry goes before Alvin Kamara. and that's just knowing.
Absolutely. I'm not even going to make that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's
there's-
going to happen.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
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 All right, but and this is so contradictory right now, but I'm putting Derrick Henry before Alvin Kamara. even though if I have to
Cheech is going to be that guy.
Yeah.
He's one of them. He's one of the 10.
If I'm drafting and I have Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry in front of me,
That's tough.
I'm taking Kamara, but I'm putting Derrick Henry at number 5 for the simple fact that Kamara has the catching game, and that's what makes him good. But if he doesn't get those checkdowns, then he loses points. Derrick Henry is just going to be running and running and running, and he's running for his life on that football field, and he's running for a paycheck, and he's getting old. So he's definitely running for a paycheck. He's trying to get that 14.5 to 16 mil that the top running backs in the NFL are getting right now. He's at a 99 stiff arm on Madden. And I think that people are going to take Derrick Henry higher than they should. And that might have been why, because I want people to take Derrick Henry higher than they should. But
I mean, do you think he runs for over 1,500 yards again, though? Like,
I think
realistically,
that Derrick Henry could have a 2,000-yard season.
Okay.
Ryan
Oh,
Tannehill's not throwing the ball.
I got polar opposite responses on that. So
Yeah.
I'll go first. Kamara is a PPR guy. Warning.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Warning, caution, note.
Yes.
Alvin Kamara is a PPR guy. The difference between last year and the year before was touchdowns. So that's what it's going to come down to, and the team didn't have the success that they wanted to last year. I think they lean on him more, and that's why I have him higher.
Didn't the Saints make it just as far in the playoffs as they did the year before? I don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
They lost in
They lost in
to the Vikings before they lost in the
Conference.
Okay, so one less game. Okay, well, but the playoffs don't matter in fantasy because it ends in the regular season. So realistically, the team was the exact same, and Alvin Kamara produced less. So the Saints can be the successful team that they are with Alvin Kamara not doing what he does. Whereas the Titans will not be a successful team without Derrick Henry getting 18 touchdowns and 2,000 yards.
That's
That's
a
the
good point.
difference
That's a
between
great-
Alvin
great
Kamara and
point.
Derrick Henry.
Great point, but also a lot of what ifs. So
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, Derrick Henry could get hit by a car tomorrow and not play football, and then he drops to number 60. But
oh boy.
what ifs are all over the place.
If he gets hit by a car, he's still 60?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I love
Have
that.
you seen his arms? You know how fast he can move a wheelchair?
Wow.
All right,
That's true,
let's
though.
press on.
Anyway, number 4, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I have this is where I have Aaron Jones. Look, I love if they didn't draft a running back like Gibby kind of touched on, it was kind of shocking to everyone. I think I would put him number 2 or 3, honestly. He had 19 total touchdowns last year. He was the second most productive back, obviously outside of CMC, and he was the 8th best overall fantasy player, overall, including quarterbacks. Like, this dude just produced touchdowns. I mean, before last year, like you said, Cheech, we didn't know, who exactly he could possibly be, what his potential was, how explosive he could be. But I don't know. It's like you said, it's going to be a one-dimensional offense. They didn't draft any receivers. Aaron Rodgers, who knows what we're going to get out of him. I think he's still a good quarterback, but Aaron Jones is still going to get the ball, even though they drafted that rookie. A.J. Dillon out of Boston College, he's pretty good. I think he ran for over 250 yards against Louisville once. So if they, like I said, if they didn't draft him, he goes higher. Even for me, even though he's still breaking into my top 4, I think Aaron Jones kind of has a chip on his shoulder because of that, just like Aaron Rodgers. So he's going to produce. He's going to get the ball. Jamal Williams, not a bad backup at all. So I just look for him to take advantage of the opportunity of him being the guy and continue to produce. Maybe not 19 total touchdowns worth because that was just insane. If you had Aaron Jones on your team last year, you probably had multiple 30, 40-point games from him. So
Caleb had him.
yeah. I know. I had to my avail. Yeah. So I don't know. I like him a little higher than you all, but who knows really. So.
All right. So for me, I have a guy that I like higher than you guys. He has the three things you need to be a successful, a top-end fantasy running back. He's a superior talent. He's got a great offensive line, and he's got a shitty quarterback. And that is Josh Jacobs for the Oakland Raiders. That is the recipe to be a beast running back at number 4. So this guy is my cutoff for Michael Thomas. This is my Michael Thomas cutoff for you all that are playing fantasy. If Josh Jacobs is still there and Michael Thomas, I'm taking Josh Jacobs. This man made grown men look like they were playing flag football last year, and I hate the Raiders. So any compliment I give them is a big deal. I expect that to continue this year. They got rid of their third down running back in Jalen Richard. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs. So it just shows how much they believe in Josh Jacobs. I was looking at their depth chart whenever I was making this. Devontae Booker, who was like a third or fourth on their depth chart and then that stupid ass guy out of Kentucky, Lynn Bowden or whatever his name is.
Whoa.
So they have him as a run. He's been practicing running back plays.
I know.
So,
yeah. So that's why because he's going to – all right, well, I'm not going to spoil my wide receiver predictions, but he's going to be listed as a receiver.
Yeah, we'll see what Yahoo does, but there's no way that you're telling me Lyndon Bolden is stealing points from Josh Jacobs. There's no one on this team.
No.
They have to. New stadium. They're going to be trying to sell his jersey everywhere. They've got to give this guy the ball. He's my number 4 running back. And that's that.
I like it. I love it, actually. I had him at, I think, 11, but I think he could definitely do better. But
yeah, I
it's all
mean,
about where you want to take him. So
honestly, like next season when we're talking about him, I could see him being in the top 7. So I don't hate you for it. I just don't know if he's like proved himself enough. But like I said when I was talking about him, Derek Carr's trash. So he'll probably get the ball a lot. But at number 4, I've got a dude that Logs and you have already talked about, Dalvin Cook. His injury definitely overshadows his productivity.
for sure, yeah.
I think that Dalvin Cook is definitely one of the greats in the NFL, except for the fact that he's got serious injury problem. And it's not just like a sprained ankle or something like that. Like he went down hard and he died. Yeah. So Dalvin Cook, if he can stay healthy, I think that he's absolutely gonna put up insane numbers this season because Kirk Cousins is gonna need to rely on that. And they lost Stephon Diggs, so they're gonna have to look at the backfield even more this season. I think that Dalvin Cook this season excels as not only just a nasty runner, but I think that he starts catching the ball a lot more this season. And I think that he's going to put up some serious numbers in the PPR world.
Nice. True. I like it. All right, so we're on to the top 3 now, huh?
Top 3, the most important ones.
All right, so I'm going to catch so much shit for this. All right, so I have at number 3, Austin Eckler. Look, this dude is a beast. Last year, he was a top 3 to 5 running back in fantasy-wise. Does he run great between the tackles? No, Gibby pointed that out. He doesn't at all. Like, not a chance. But Tyrod Taylor, the year the Buffalo Bills went to the playoffs and he was a quarterback, obviously, LaShawn McCoy had one of the best years he's had, obviously, besides the ones he had in Philadelphia or whatever.
So besides the years where he was on a different team,
no, but
he
like
had his best year.
He had great fantasy numbers. This guy does not turn the ball over. The Chargers are going to have that many more possessions this year, and he averaged 23 points per game last year when Melvin Gordon was out. I do like their backup, Jesse Jackson or Justin Jackson. I forget his name.
Yep. Yeah, Justin.
He's pretty good. He's made the most, but he's not the guy. So, look, I mean, Tyrod Taylor is a check down quarterback. Like I said, doesn't turn the ball over, and I don't know. I feel like he had 16 touchdowns last year, 990. He was almost 1,000-yard receiver, and he had 92 receptions. 92, and that was when Melvin Gordon came. Obviously when Melvin Gordon came in, and he took over a lot of those roles, and he took almost all, I would say, goal line touches away from Austin Eckler. So I obviously know that this guy is not going to go top 3, 4, 5 in your fantasy draft. But if he's sitting there in the late first round, you have to take this guy. I'm telling you, he's going to produce. And if he's there in the second round, you got to steal. If you have that pick where you have some leeway, you can grab somebody pretty good, a receiver or another running back, and you can snake back towards you, and you can get him in that second round, maybe mid to late second round. Hey, you just won your league. I'm telling you, Austin Eckler is the guy this year. So look out for him. There's a pin drop.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is crazy. And you know what? People are going to hate me for it, but I think this dude is definitely a beast. And what do you think he's been doing? He's been working. He's in the same program. Yeah, he just got paid a little bit. But
I want to attack you for what you said about Tyrod Taylor, though.
what's wrong with Tyrod? Everybody knows I'm a big Tyrod guy, so it was like.
Since 2017, he's had 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
So what?
So what?
So they're going to have to run.
You know how
the
long ago
ball.
2017 was?
Look, he hasn't played a lot. I mean, your scrub ass quarterback Baker Mayfield came in and played
And beat the shit out of him in the starting job, yeah.
It was injured, and Baker, got lucky the rest of that year. And what did he do last year? So
He had a 49.4 completion rate as a Brown.
I bet they were all to his running backs.
I'm excited. I'm excited
to
for
see
fantasy
that.
this year. Austin Eckler. Whew. I mean,
Look.
you reached and got him last year. Are you
Yeah,
going to
hey,
reach
no.
deeper? Are you going to reach deeper this year?
Yeah, because last year
First round pick. You had a 10th pick. You're taking him?
No, because I think I could get. Well, I don't know. Maybe not in our league.
So for the
because
league,
Yeah.
I think I
it
can.
depends
get
on your
him.
league.
It depends. Yeah. So we've already talked about it here. We don't have a lot of listeners, but if I have the 10th or 11th pick, I'm not taking him. I'm grabbing whoever's available that's on the board. When he comes back around, I'm going to go ahead and take him. I think people are going to be like, but I'm telling you, this dude is going to produce. So, he's an RB. If you can get him as an RB2, do it, is what I'm saying, because he's going to just look. The volume is going to be there. The opportunity is going to be there. The touchdowns are going to be there. I love Austin Eckler and the Los Angeles Chargers this year.
So are you taking – okay, so I'm trying to think of like a WR, a late round or a second round WR1.
I'm not taking any receivers
Julio
over
Jones.
Austin. I'm not taking any
Devontae
receivers.
Adams
I'm not taking any receivers over Austin Eckler.
over him.
You're
None.
so Odell
None?
Beckham.
It depends
Odell's on
on
the
how
board.
It depends. Oh, definitely not Odell.
Okay.
It depends.
Thomas?
It depends on how it falls. Like I said, if Thomas
Yeah.
is if Thomas is still there at 10, I'm taking Thomas because
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
because
You'll
Eckler's
take the
not-
risk to grab him at the second.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Hey, I respect it. If you stand your ground, you do your thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you never know.
Hey,
God
you never
bless.
know.
I'll take a more talented running back for the New York Giants at number 3 for Saquon. To me, he's the most talented running back in the NFL. This dude had a high ankle sprain, and that injury is no joke. And he tried to play through it. Don't sleep on this guy because of last year. This man is a physical gift to earth and football. This dude has tree trunks for thighs, and he's going to get back. He's going to return to 4. It's just there's safer options at the 1-2 spot. That's why I'm taking Saquon at 3.
I have Saquon at 3 as well. The dude's a beast. Danny Dimes is a trash quarterback. The New York Football Giants don't have that great of a supporting cast in the wide receiver roles. I think that Saquon has to lead the charge there. Hopefully he stays healthy this season, and as long as he does, he is absolutely finishing in the top 3 in points.
See, I think the fact that Danny Dimes might not produce and their receiving core is so bad is why he will fall to, I think I have him at 6 or 7. So
That makes sense because Eckler's wide receiving core is beast. So
Yeah.
you think that helps running backs. So
exactly. I should have said that, Great point. Thank you for that addition.
yeah. So
Analytical.
good wide receivers help running backs. Except you don't have the Chiefs running back on there, but you're worried about the committee, so I get that.
Look, I know. It's hard, man. I can't
It
put
is.
any-
It is rough. It's
Anyway.
good. This is a good time.
All right, so on to number 2, right?
We all have the same.
I think we're all look, Zeke, come on. So last year, I think Zeke probably fell out just because of his holdout. It was just because of his holdout. And what did he do when he came back? All he fucking did was produce. That volume is matched by no one else in the NFL, I think. They did draft that rookie running back last year. I forget his name.
Yeah, I like him.
God damn it. I think he's a good running back, but
Pollard?
Pollard.
Tony
Yeah.
Pollard, yeah.
Yeah.
So they drafted him, but man, and they did lose. Travis Frederick was a huge loss to that offensive line. They've had one of the best offensive lines over the past probably decade. But man, he is the centerpiece to an offense where a quarterback is looking to get paid. So after next year, obviously Dak just signed the franchise tag. But Jesus Christ, man, Zeke is just always there. I had him 2 years ago. He's just always there. He's consistent. He's going to get you 16 to 20 points a game every single week. And that's all you can ask if you have not the first overall pick. So that's my number 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate. It's Zeke. This man never finished outside the top 23 running backs in the NFL. So no matter what, his worst game with the flu, with Corona, he's got Corona. So maybe that's why he's number 2. I don't know. But he was always a top 2 running back in fantasy last year. So with that consistency, you can't pass up on it. That's why he's number 2.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you why DeAndre Swift is going to be number 2. I'm kidding. Yeah, obviously Zeke here. I believed in him even last year with the holdout. I knew that he was going to come back and play. I drafted him number 3 behind the dipshit at number 1 that didn't take CMC, and then Logs number 2 that took CMC. Yeah, I believe in Zeke no matter what. He eats, and he will never stop. Although Pollard can produce, the Giants or not the Giants, what the fuck?
Cowboys.
The Cowboys are obviously, I was looking at Barkley's name. The Cowboys are obviously going to keep feeding Zeke, and Zeke is going to keep eating. So
yeah, and not to mention they added to their receiving core too. So that they're gonna, I don't know.
Their offense looks dangerous this year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like he averaged 20 points per game. He had 16 touchdowns last year after eating chicken wings every single day in Cabo right before the season. I'm not worried about the COVID affecting his play. Look,
the sniffles.
Sometimes he comes out of there looking a little chunky, man, but he still comes in there and gets like 8 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns a game. So, I love Zeke. But, all right, so number 1, the unanimous number 1, obviously, I feel like, come on. If you're not taking Christian McCaffrey, you haven't been playing fantasy the past couple of years. The dude's just a monster. 1,387 rush yards last year, over 1,000 yards receiving yards, 19 total touchdowns. The question is, can he repeat that? So, obviously, I think he can. He just signed a 4-year, $64 million contract, $16 million a year with an upgraded quarterback. Can he repeat that?
Yeah, there's just nothing to say. There's only one position you should be talking about, Christian McCaffrey. If you draw the number 1 pick, take Christian McCaffrey. If not, don't worry about him. There's no reason to do research on him because you ain't getting it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
yeah. If you have any doubts about Christian McCaffrey, you don't know anything about fantasy. Yeah, happily. Please DM us, let us know. We'll make sure you have the first overall pick.
Yeah, for sure.
The
upgrade, those receivers too, I think are only going to get better. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be better than Kyle Allen. It's just going to open up a little more, I don't know. I'm excited to see what he does, but it's going to be hard.
I hate how painfully obvious it is, but he's just one of those dudes that even though he got paid, like you said, he's not going to stop working. Right. He didn't put up those numbers last season to get a paycheck. He put up those numbers last season because he works hard.
And he fucking had to because that team was just pretty bad on offense.
Yeah, he got the ball every time. Maybe he gets that, like Ben Booby said, 3,000 yards.
That's a lot of fucking yards, man.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for the Panthers next year, but because a lot of people are down on them, including you two, obviously. Yep.
They suck.
They're fucking
They
trash.
but take their running back, number 1 overall.
Yeah, dumpster fire team, but their running back's gonna give you the most points in the NFL.
All right, well,
Quick
guys.
quick stat, just as
Okay.
91% of people who own Christian McCaffrey in a PPR league and Yahoo.com leagues won their league.
Nice, and Logs couldn't.
I was in that 9%. God damn it.
The bottom 9% of the world.
Oh my God. Thank you very much, Caleb Staten. Oh my God. Well, all right. This has been a Nosebleed Perspective. We're coming at you next with the wide receiver rankings, and we'll do our top 30 with that. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with a lot more stupid remarks and comments.